Hello and welcome to another episode of Page Burners. We are working our way through the Malazan books in publication order by both authors Stephen Erikson and Ian Esselmont. We're currently on House of Chains. We're working our way through these books, approximately 100 or so pages in the longest editions of the book that we can find in English. So for today, we're talking chapters 11 and 12. With me, we have the usual group of friends. They'll introduce themselves and tell us what they are most eager to discuss. For me, it is going to be the stuff with the Warren of the Tistleosan and the False God. And Carl's here too because he only read chapter 11 apparently. Do you want to kick us off with intros, Carl? Making the
Hey,
entry that you
yes,
did.
of course. I love to make a dramatic entrance. I am Carl, and I am most excited to discuss. Oh, what happened in chapter 11? I did read chapter 11. I
Tavor
promise.
and Coltane, and Fiddler finds out that Whiskey Jack is dead, and so on.
Um, yeah. I guess Tavor. I am most excited to discuss the enigma that is Tavor Perrin.
Sounds good to me. Shannon.
Yeah, hey, my name's Shannon. I think I'm probably most excited to talk about Drift of Ollie, all that went on down with that. We got a sword called Vengeance or Grief. We've got the Traveler show up. We got Enamander's brother, Andarist. So just a lot of cool stuff. What about you, Dan?
I don't know what I'm most interested to talk to you about. I think the thing I wanted when I came here today was like, can we please recap like the second half of chapter 12? Because I didn't understand it. And especially that part with, what is it? Pearl and Los Astra, that part was slightly confusing to me. So it
I'll
would be
recap
great
it
to
for
maybe
you
discuss that.
in
Okay.
in great detail.
Thank you.
That's funny because Carl hasn't read that chapter. Okay. Right? Is that
He's read the
He
book
hasn't
before.
That is correct. I
he's read it
failed.
before?
read it recently. He
He
has
hasn't
read
read
it,
it
Yes.
just not
recently.
recently.
Once upon a time, many years ago, I had read it, and the things that happened in it were things that I had read about, and they are no longer in my memory. I mean, I remember Drift of Ollie. Like I can kind of like vaguely talk about all this stuff, but why is your name Frog right now, Varsha?
Oh, mine? Okay, this is a carryover from last week. Somebody had named themselves after some part of the violin, so I decided to be the frog part of the bow of the violin. That's all.
Very
That's all.
specific reference.
I don't even remember what that violin reference was. I think it had something to do with fiddler. Oh, I think someone called themselves strings, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll be frog.
I didn't even know it was a part of violin.
Oh, I don't want to say I play because that implies some competence. I'm learning to play the violin. I
you dabble.
I dabble. I occasionally do not disappoint my teacher.
Good for you.
That's all any of us can ask for.
So anyway, I think this was a very nice set of chapters because we touched upon pretty much all the threads that have
Yeah.
been opened so far. Um, and we touched upon them exactly once. We didn't like go back to any of our characters. We touched upon Tavor, then Cutter, and um, his stuff on Drift of Ali took up quite a bit of page time in chapter 12. And then we checked in on Lostara and Pearl, and then Kalam had his own weird thing with yet another demon. So yeah, a lot happened, and we went. So like, I know a lot of people complain about just how many characters and threads there are in a typical Malazan book, but I think this is the kind of thing that makes these books fun for me because like there's not much opportunity to get bored with any particular thread because out of these 6 things that we visited upon, there's got to be at least a couple that are interesting to me, usually. So it turns out to be fun. Anyway, so we'll start with Tavor, and I guess that chapter starts with her looking at some stuff in Erin and the trail along with all the
Mhm.
trees where the soldiers were crucified. And then um and like there's a lot of question about whether Tavor can live up to Coldane. Um and if there's any way like she has a lot to live up to and nobody knows enough about her to decide whether to trust her. And then it turns out that the Empress also probably never did. She always intended for Dujek to show up and sort of take command over from her. Except now that's no longer possible because the bridge burners have met with a crushing defeat, as has like the rest of Dujek's army. And so, well, not a defeat, I guess they won,
Yeah.
but
Pla-
they've lost large quantities of
A Pyrrhic
soldiers.
victory.
Hmm?
A
What
Pyrrhic
victories?
victory.
Hmm.
I don't know
Yes.
if it's Pyrrhic because they did literally win. They did what they set out to do,
But
but
a lot of them
it just at
died.
great cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I have to say about this is it's a classic Lucine plan. Laid out well in advance, very complex, and doesn't work out even remotely like she planned. She is,
Yeah.
pretty much an icon for that. Beyond all that, what I want to pull out actually, this is actually what I want to discuss. Related, a specific detail that we see early on in this chapter, which is that the hill, at the fall, as they call it, right, where Coltane died, is covered in ants, just
Yeah.
like full of ants. What the hell is that symbolizing? Anyone have any ideas?
Mhm. They're getting his soul and carrying it around somewhere. No, it kind of, I don't know, like the crows.
The crows got them. Maybe whatever remnants there are, the
Yeah,
ants are carrying.
leftover.
Yeah, that's an
It ju-
interesting question. I didn't.
because we haven't had like ant symbolism previously, so I really wasn't sure how to read it. And I don't know if
Uh,
this is something that comes back up later and I've forgotten about it, but
Um,
it was very curious. I mean, the best idea I have is that it's maybe like, all the little people who are coming in and like leaving tokens and have been affected by the fall, even though they don't seem to be immediately related to it. But other than that, I really have no idea. Maybe it's just
so,
all the dead. They're all
so,
ants now.
so the Google AI says that ants
Uh-oh. It's a rough start.
symbolize the struggle against overwhelming odds, the grim reality of death, or even a supernatural force that aids a protagonist. I don't know where this is from, but if this is true, that all seems very relevant to like the fact that Tavor sees them, right?
I would never associate ants
I know,
with
like
that,
when what
personally.
yeah,
I would
I
associate
don't know.
with,
Do we
industry
believe this
or, I don't know.
do we believe this AI summary? Do we? The usual answer is no.
I mean, AI never lies. It never gets anything wrong, right? It's actually perfectly intelligent.
Yes.
And especially when it's asked to like talk about like symbolism and really complex, topics, I can only assume that it's 100% correct.
Yes, absolutely. So we should just take its word for it and run with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, So
Exactly.
how are we? Let's interpret the AI's reading. Let's
All right,
take it
yeah,
and,
let's
and
do
try
it.
to make it logical. So what do we think that would mean going off the AI? I mean, you know, I guess fighting like crazy odds, taking this army that's ragtag and, has a very young green adjunct at the head of it. those are not great odds, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
The grim reality of death, which Coltane very much signifies, and like what they've
sure.
faced before. Yeah. And a supernatural force that aids the protagonist. That one's a bit iffy.
Yeah, I couldn't guess that one.
Yeah,
There's
The,
always supernatural forces here. Oh,
I
that's
guess
true.
the spirits of the dead, maybe like the long dead that the chain of dogs encountered. Like the Jagged and all the different just like dead people that the
Mm,
Wiccans were pulling out to like, I don't know, do magic stuff. That
yeah.
was a thing in Dead House Gates.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um,
But,
I
but
think there must be something behind that because the way they're described. It feels like it's drawing attention to that. So
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly, right? It has to mean something. I just don't know if it means what the AI says it
I
does.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Are
So,
there any like supernatural beings associated with ants that we know about? Are any of the gods ant related?
I mean, the only thing it could be divers, but it's the only thing I
Oh,
could think
true,
of.
true.
oh, so
That's why I mentioned like soul before or something. Maybe maybe it is a divers collecting some sort of magic power from the dead people or whatever. I don't know. I'm stretching it.
I mean, that's
yeah.
an interesting idea. I could see it maybe being some divers showing up to, yeah, get something from the grave because I'm sure there is power there.
Yeah.
I just
I
talk
wonder.
about a
Hmm.
lame divers is just a bunch of ants. I mean, that's kind of scary, but at the same time, I feel like we've seen like actually, I take it back. That would probably be pretty scary. A bunch of
I
ants could
thought they
eat you.
said in the second or book or third book or whatever that the insect divers are the worst ones. Because there was
Mm,
like one which was like bot flies and one which was something else. Because it's just like it's so hard to defeat. The ones
Yeah.
that are like a lot of it, or like the rats.
Just think about how terrified Escaral Bust is that, his wife will find him. um, but okay, sorry, just pivoting just a little bit from that subject. Did you guys think that what people were doing with Coltane's grave of sorts was very similar to what the Imas and I guess eventually everybody else did with Itkovian's grave? And I guess Coltane didn't quite sacrifice. It was a sacrifice of sorts. He was brutally betrayed and murdered, but I guess there are parallels there.
I think it's different because here Coltane, it's from his enemies. So it's like his enemies respect him so
Mm,
much that even they come and pay respect. Well, the other one was more like, from their own side. It's a
yeah,
different type of respect and admiration in my mind.
well,
makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but I do think that there are parallels here. I think you're right to pick up on that, Parsha. I mean, because if you think of like Dead House Gates and Memories of Ice as being these books in parallel, they literally happen in parallel. They almost were written in the reverse order. The events, definitely kind of intertwine in interesting ways. I think that there is something there that Coltane and Itkovian are both. I mean, they're being in a literal like story way raised to ascendancy.
Yeah.
And I think that they also both have that kind of Christ metaphor aspect to them. Coltane literally,
Mm,
crucified, and Itkovian did the whole like redeeming souls thing. I mean, this isn't unique to Jesus per se, but I think it's not a coincidence that the two kind of savior characters evoke that imagery.
hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool.
It is very interesting, I think, what you were saying, Dan, about how the enemies of Coltane are among the people now worshiping and honoring him. I think that's it's powerful. I mean, it's cool to see.
It's a cool guy.
He's a cool
Yeah,
guy.
he's a cool guy.
So, Tavor then, she.
Oh, sorry. I guess
Mhm,
I
go.
liked about, sorry to interrupt, but Coltane before we move ahead. I like the part where there was, because they did a short discussion with soldiers, I don't remember who, talking about Dwicker and also the gift that was supposed to save him, right? And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that Coltane gave it to Dwicker because he knew already that he was gonna get, even when he dies, his soul was gonna get collected by the crows or whatever it is. So he's gonna get resurrected anyways, because that's what they say, right? But I didn't actually piece that together. I thought that he didn't know that that was gonna happen
That's
initially.
interesting. I think in the second book, I did read it as whether or not he knew that he didn't care if it happened, that
Yeah.
that he thought it was more important to preserve Duiker than himself. Which, I mean, I like that reading of it more than, oh, I already have a way to come back here. You take this. Uh, like maybe, like I want to think that that's the soldier's interpretation and not actually what went on in Coldane's head, because that makes him more, I want to say
True.
noble, but I don't think that's the right word, because it's not that he's saving Duiker, it's that he wants the tale to be told, which I think is
Mm,
a different kind of nobility.
mm.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh my God, food went down the wrong pipe. Excuse me. Just gonna die on recording here. I think it is a type of nobility, and I think it it is an interesting idea that the soldiers, like, their pragmatism or even pessimism leads them to believe that he knew that he was gonna get saved or his soul would be saved by the crows. And that is definitely not how he reads. Like, his tone in those scenes, I guess we're not in his head, so we don't know. So there is
Mm.
ambiguity. But the way he talks about it, it does not seem like, because if that's what he was expecting, I feel like he could have just said that, you know? Because Duiker was
Fair enough.
hesitant to
Yeah.
take it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
exactly. It did seem like he said, no, it's more important that you live, um, rather than, we'll both live, just, I want this for you. Yeah, cool. Any other Coltrane thoughts? Have we lost Shannon, or can you still hear us?
He's currently missing.
Okay.
He's disappeared into curled Ghislaine.
Nice.
Um, okay,
Good.
actually, while I want to briefly circle back to the kind of like Jesus-y references, because it occurs to me that it's not just Coltane who was crucified and then seemingly resurrected. Duiker was also, which is really
Yeah.
interesting that there is that direct parallel between those two characters. And what does that say about the role of the historian um, in this series? What it's supposed to signify. What does it portend? Um, I think there's a lot of food for thought there. I actually feel like I need to hold back some of my thoughts because I'm developing them as I'm talking aloud, and also they relate to some long-term things in this series. But I think that there is something there, and strangely, I actually haven't seen anyone talk about them online. So if there is anyone out there who's kind of elaborated on this idea, I would love to know about it. But if not, I think there's something there.
I mean, I could imagine some sort of symbolism, like how I say, like, oh, history. The truth is crucified or sacrificed to the masses. Something along those lines. I could see that.
I would draw an even starker, like I feel like it is in some ways I mean, literally making kind of a not a messiah, because Duaker isn't a messiah figure, but
Mm.
like using the kind of symbolism. I do feel like, it is a savior, like a type of liberator, and so historian as liberator, redeemer, I think is, I guess, the kind of the broad version of this idea, of acknowledging the crimes and telling the truth, no matter the forces at work against them.
Mhm. But only to those
And
who accept him.
y- yeah, well, exactly, yeah, right.
If you want to draw
Um,
those parallels, I guess.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in this case, I'm not. I don't think. So when I draw the, like, any sort of real religion parallels, I don't even think it's like, think of it like, literally referring to Christianity or Judaism or Hinduism or Buddhism or anything like that, right? Because these books do not read to me remotely, unlike, say, Tolkien, where I feel like you're kind of, you have to address, the elephant in the room. In my mind, it's much more like a literary symbol
Mhm.
to refer to something, right? And so it's not that I think, Coltane or any of these characters should literally be read as like, oh, it's Christ and it's the Abrahamic God and he exists in this universe and it's the one truth and
No.
blah blah blah. But like as like kind of a literary, metaphor, as a trope to make a point, right? That
Hmm.
Western um readers would be able to readily identify, that Erikson was trying to play with there. And so I think that there maybe is something there with Duaker. And beyond that, to people who are rereading the whole series, I think there is something to the idea. I I would just say that there is a huge parallel for what I'm proposing with things that happen very, very, very late in the series. Things we learn very, very late in the series about the Book of the Fallen. Um, that I think I hadn't caught, that maybe I'm not trying to be very careful here about what I say, but I think that people don't talk enough about Duiker's savior symbolism there, and
Mm.
I think there's something to it, to what it means and what it portends, and that's all I'll say.
Interesting. Could you elaborate on the Malazan spoiler chat thread? I want to know more.
Yes, I will. That's a great place to do it. I will do that, and if we have post House of Chains full series spoiler discussion, I'll talk about
Yes.
it there as well. Um, these are kind of messy thoughts because I'm literally just like thinking of them as I'm talking, but yes. So if anyone's curious about what I'm writing or talking about, I will post about it on the forum.
Yes, please do. I think I have a vague notion, but I wanna understand. Okay. So do you wanna switch gears to Tavor? And
Mhm.
I guess all the pressure she must probably be feeling, we don't know. We are never in her head. We find out through what, like, Gamet's assessment of the situation is. And I think this part was really heartbreaking for me was when he like when they learned that Paran had died, but that he had never been outlawed, and everything Tavor did, at least according to Gamet, was to preserve the family name due to Paran being outlawed, like whatever dishonor
Mm.
he brought. She was trying to undo that. But I think also, like, given the huge purge that um, Lassine did of nobles, I think she was maybe protecting her family. Perhaps her motivations aren't as straightforward as Gamut seems to think they are. Anyway, so what did you think, Carl, since you wanted to discuss the enigma of Tavor?
Yeah. Um. I mean, one of the things that stood out to me is actually that I feel like you get a stronger feel for her emotions than I remembered. Like Gamut, or at the very least, Gamut reads into her reactions, and you are invited to read into her reactions. I'm with you, Varsha, that I think it's a really tragic scene when she hears that, and there's a lot going on with her internally that we are not privy to, and we can only speculate. I think with knowledge of where her story goes, we have a little more of an idea of what's going on, but I still think inevitably there's ambiguity here, and that is interesting. I mean, Erikson has talked about how she was his favorite character to write because he intentionally kept her at arm's length. That it's just down to, reader interpretation as much as anything, with the few exceptions where we get to peek through, to peek behind the curtain, or in this case, behind her armor. Really, I I do think that it is tragic what happened, and that she was not planning on that, and that she made an error in her calculations. At the same time, I don't know that Lassine cared enough. I think Lassine might have acted the same regardless. So those are my thoughts on that.
Did
I,
did
sorry,
Pran
go ahead, Dan.
die? I forget. Did he die?
I
He
don't
didn't.
think he did, and it seems like Felicity
No,
got
he
news
did
that.
not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't, but
Okay.
Felicity got information that he didn't die, but the Malazan seems to think that he did. So I'm curious what extra
Yeah.
information the Apocalypse
Right.
got, or if they got an earlier version of events. But like they got the news that Whiskey Jack is
Mhm.
dead, so why do they think Paran is alive? Is the question. Like, what are
Well,
their
okay. I was
sources?
Because
yeah. For a second, I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe I misremembered, but no. Okay, yeah. I think it's because the bridge burner just disappeared, and so to the malice and officially they're like,
Oh,
oh, we're all dead. So that's the excuse they give. Uh,
but they didn't do a good job of hiding if, like, the Apocalypse soldiers figured out that they are
I'm just
alive.
assuming the apocalypse source is somewhere in Darujistan, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
interesting. Yeah.
Lorik, remember, Lorik has spies
Mm,
in the Empire, it seems like, in the
Yeah.
higher
fair enough.
ups.
Yeah.
So I
Who could
think
be
that
the
there is
apocalypse
some,
source?
implication that he knows about what went down.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's exactly what you said, though, Dan. That the bridge
Okay.
burners disappeared, and they know at least that they know that the bridge burners died. They are no more.
Hmm. Okay.
So reasonably, they assume all of them are dead.
Okay. I see. Yeah, because they need to return to Raraku for the song to finish and do its own thing, I
Right.
guess. Which, I mean, it's heavily
Someone
implied that it's
has
going to
to.
happen. Yeah, I guess Kalan is there. So, can he do it on his own, or do we need
They do
more?
say one person.
Okay, I missed that.
Yep. It
Fair
just
enough.
takes one bridge burner to return to complete the circle, which is interesting. Yeah,
Which,
we haven't really talked about that. That is a really interesting detail.
which
That
I think Fiddler's
just
hearing a rising sound song as he's making his way into Raraku, right? Sorry,
Mm.
Carl.
No, that's a great thing to point out. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was just saying, like, about the detail of the magic, and both as like in the very literal way that that is how the magic works, that it has this circular logic, but also the symbol of that to really complete the ascension, you have to complete the story, right?
Mm.
It to me very much reads like a hero's journey metaphor, or you can draw like it's the Ouroboros, right? It's the circle has to be completed, and I think there's a really interesting meta symbolism there going on. It's just about the power of myth and for it to ascend, the completion of that story. In the same way that you could say that, like, the way for Coltane's story to be completed was for him to be reborn. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if is
Oh,
it
interesting.
also, do you think, um maybe that's why, like, Coltane, yeah, he has to go back to the Wiccans because that's also kind of closes the circle.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that this is like a hard and fast rule for how ascendancy works. It doesn't seem to be necessarily, but at the same time, okay, so here's another piece of evidence that points to there being something here. Without getting into, I mean, just getting into the stuff we know about Cotillion and Shadow Throne, their ascension, their power escalation really began when they first entered the Dead House
Hmm.
in Malice City. Well, where did they go when they became gods?
Who knows?
It, it's they went to
Yeah,
the Dead
yeah,
House,
they went back. Yeah.
Right? And so they kind of completed their circle
Hmm.
there to become gods to fully ascend. And I think we know that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a spoiler. I think we know that they that's where they escaped to after they'd been assassinated, was to the Dead House, and then they entered the Shadow Realm and they became gods.
Mhm.
Uh, and so I think that maybe there is something there about, like, for ascendancy, a lot of the time to be completed, for that elevation, the individual or someone has to close the circle off, complete the story.
Or at least it's a literary, I don't know, metaphor or something that he likes to use because it,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it wraps it up nicely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you're
What's next? What
saying,
else?
or
Oh, go ahead.
that it's all ascendancy could be circular, even though, like, we were talking specifically about the Tano spirit walkers magic. It's like,
Um, I don't know. Okay, so with the way Malazan is, I feel pretty strongly that Erikson and Esselmont just make up a lot of shit as they go, and that they think out through a lot of things, but that it isn't necessarily all
mm,
conscious and planned or all remembered. I mean, there are certainly things in the Book of the Fallen that you can say Erikson had planned from the very beginning, and we can't get into those. But, like, there are things that, like, a long game is played. This
mm,
is one of those things that I actually lean towards what Dan was saying, that it's maybe more of like a literary, whether consciously or subconsciously done, it's like a literary trope. It's a metaphor to uh, elevate, to create some order with the
Mhm.
process of ascension. And so we are talking about the Tano Spirit Walkers very specifically, but I think that when you look at a number of ascendants, their stories follow a similar path. Even Stormy and Gessler, who are not yet ascended, but are, like, pretty explicitly on their way to doing that, their story is circular right now. I mean, their story began in the military, and they've like worked their way back around to, their positions. And I I think that there is something there. I don't know. I would be curious, honestly, to talk to Erikson about it and to be like, was this intentional, or is this just something that, I am reading into, which doesn't necessarily mean, a lot of times writers write things and don't realize, that it wasn't intentional. They weren't thinking about it. It maybe wasn't even in their subconscious, but it still is there, right, for interpretation. And maybe this is one of those. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe, it was just like the kinds of stories we're used to seeing had like so made such an imprint on Erikson's subconscious that this is how it manifested.
Yeah, I think I lean more towards that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. Before we move on from this chapter, I think the last thing that I can remember is Fiddler. His mourning of the bridge burners, and in that process, he like helps. Tamal is his name, right? Try and become a leader who might actually be respected of the Wiccans.
That's a sweet scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a really good scene. And there's Bottle, the mage, with his overhearing of what was happening in Tavor's tent. So the soldiers, so we have a means for the soldiers to always know what's up with the what is it, brass? Is brass the top level or the bottom level? I forget what's
It's
that
the top.
top.
Yeah,
Okay,
that is
yeah.
the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
One thing I found interesting, not clear, but with the Malazans, was that, like, for example, like they're the leader of a squad. He tells them like, "Oh, you're the mage. You're gonna do that. You're gonna be the scout. You're gonna be whatever." I just
Yeah.
thought that, how do I say? They would train them to be a specific role during their training. I thought there would be more Malazan than just like let them figure out on their own what they're best at. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then they would distribute them through the squads depending on their role.
I think that's highlighting just how green this army is, like how very new that they haven't even had time to train, and like the time constraints that they're working with to mount a response to what they did to Coldain. I think
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So they only went through like basic training, not actual role training.
Yeah, they couldn't even get their shit together when they had to like do a drill and present themselves to the adjunct, right? They had to use cussers to get them to
True.
behave. So
Very true. I didn't pick up on that. Thanks.
yeah. So anything else from this chapter?
Yeah. Excuse me. Bottle, we find out not only that he is a mage of Mianis and not a very powerful one, but actually his real power is some sort of elder magic, something connecting. It's not defined, but he connects to like the veins of the world, is how he describes it. The veins of reality, really, it seems. And so he can interact with the animals and hear through their ears and yet maintain his intelligence. He has their senses, but he also has his own. So he's able to like use, I forget what animals he uses. It's like some insect, I think. Is it ants?
Maybe.
Don't think so. Maybe I missed ants, but
No, I think there were some fireflies or like the equivalents. What are they called in the Raraku Desert? I remember there was some like
Cape moths.
they were Cape moths. Yes,
Yeah,
thank
Cape
you.
moths.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he's able to hear with their ears, I guess, but still understand what's being said. And I think that it's very interesting, and clearly there's more going on with him than we had initially been led to believe.
Yeah. Has a fondness for overhearing where he probably shouldn't. But
One little criticism I'll say about getting back to the scene with Fiddler grieving is I do feel like all of the like lore reveal, the things he learns from that conversation took away from the emotional impact of it a little bit, where it felt like we sort of got caught up in trying to uncover what had been going on with him learning what was going on, that it lessened the impact of the end of that scene for me. That was something where it just
Hmm.
felt like there was too much information unloaded upon us in a time where I really kind of wanted him to just focus on talking this kid up.
wait,
That's a me
which
thing.
Lord reveal are you referring to? The one about how Bottle figured
No,
it
no, no,
out,
no.
or yeah?
No, no, no,
Mm.
sorry. Everything the kid told him. I'm blanking on his name again.
Tamer?
Yeah.
What did he
When he
tell
was
him?
talking about like everything about Coltane and Duaker and all
Okay.
that went down, and it just was very expository, and I felt the exposition took away from the moment for me.
Hmm.
I found it very powerful initially, and then like once they started getting into, oh, this is what happened, and blah blah blah, and this is what Coltane was thinking, and blah blah blah, I just kind of emotionally checked out a little bit. It stopped being about what I felt it initially had been about and started being about explaining to Fiddler what went on at the end of Deadhouse Gates.
Hmm. Do you think it's there because I know sometimes they, for some reason, sometimes they tell authors that they need to put in some information so someone can start reading from there and not be completely
Yes.
like some sort of short recap. But I can't. Would anyone ever start reading from like this book or
Wh-
skip a
I
book or
I think it's a little more straightforward than that in that I just think it's there to remind the readers who,
you forget?
may have forgotten, right? I mean, and these books come out, it's
They,
all over the Wheel of Time, for example. Like every book recaps everything that's happened before it. And, so if you're just like binging through that series, it gets really annoying really fast. But it's there because the books were not coming out, within a few months of each other, right? They're coming out with sometimes multiple years between them.
true.
These books came out mostly a year apart, but it's still, I imagine, Erikson, whether he was told to do so or was just thinking he should do so, included it to clarify that. I mean, we've had multiple scenes. There's the whole scene in the Apocalypse Council where they just tell us all the things we know happened at the end of Memories of
Yeah,
Ice, and there's no new information presented.
that's a good point. I always forget it because I always tend to read series when they're all complete and try not to
Right.
start them when they're halfway done. But yeah, you're right. Because if a book is coming between even 1 year with a story this complicated, like I would forget parts of it. Like the main part I was to remember, but not all the
Absolutely.
details. So
No, there's a practical reason for it. I think they're useful in like a typical sort of reading, that standard series experience. But when you're binging through it, it's like, okay, we just
yeah,
read this.
yeah, it's kind of like those TV series where the first 5 minutes is recapping the previous episodes, and you're like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm watching 20 episodes in a row. I don't need this.
Yeah, right. Where's the skip button?
Yeah. Okay.
So, and finally, we get some explanation of cold iron, what it
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe
Nice.
means, um, and whether Tavor. I think who is it that Fiddler is talking to? Gessler, is it? No, Cutter, cut, not Cutter,
Cuddle.
Cuttle,
Yeah.
Cuttle. Yes. Um,
Pretty messed up of Erikson to give us Cutter and Cuddle in the same book.
yeah.
We just need
Ju-
cuddle now, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Cuddle. Yeah.
We have all of them.
I'm jotting this one down in the crimes to accuse him of whenever we next get him to be interviewed or / interrogated by us.
Yeah. So anyway, Cuttle decides that he thinks that Tavor might very well turn out to be Cold Iron, much like he thought Coltane was. Although I can't say I fully understand the expression.
I think it's more like passion versus like, being cold. I think that's what it's just referring to.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know who would be a passionate leader, but
Karsa.
oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Fellison
that's
the Younger.
funny. Fellison Younger.
Or not Fellison the Younger, Fellison the Elder.
Fellison, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking on my Malazan side. I guess someone like Corporal Dom, I guess, would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whiskey Jack is Cold Iron.
Rake. Probably
Definitely Cold Iron.
the coldest of irons.
I mean, there definitely seems to be one of them is better than the other. But I don't know that it's very even-handed in that regard. It's interesting because when you look at like history, I think we sometimes think of like great generals as being very like logic driven and like Caesar though was like notoriously very aggressive, and he's considered like one of the greatest historical generals ever. To the point that he was like truly like reckless. But it worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, his gambles paid off. And maybe you can be Cold Iron and still make those sorts of insane gambles, but maybe it's just like an outward, the temperament you project. I don't know. I do think that it's really badass when they describe Tavor and Coltane as Cold Iron. I think it's a really cool metaphor. I don't know if it's always the most applicable though to like real life. I think sometimes hot iron actually is effective. Although certainly I think I personally would generally want to be under someone who's Cold Iron, very composed and like seems to have their shit together.
Maybe he's gonna sacrifice you because that's the best part of a plan. Well, someone with more passion would be like, "Oh, I want to save everyone." So I find a way to,
true. Great point. No, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, because I could see like someone that's like hot iron, not just because they're angry all the time, but because they're more like compassionate or they show more
absolutely
warmth.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I assume Tavor is gonna. Again, I can't remember at all where her story goes, but I'm just assuming her gambles are gonna pay off. I'm just assuming, just because of how it's set up. But I can't remember at all what happens. Even if the fight with Felsi, I have no remembrance of that. So.
Which one? Sorry, what do you have no remembrance?
When they're gonna fight with the Apocalypse, like when the battle finally happens, which I assume is gonna happen because I can't remember if it does. But I'm assuming it's gonna happen, and I'm assuming Tavor is gonna have a plan and it's gonna work out in a decent way. So she's gonna turn out to be competent. That's what I'm assuming.
Reeves.
Who knows?
I don't.
Who knows? All right, so we're ready to move on to the next chapter, which is the first chapter in the next section, which is entitled
I just
something
so we start off on Drift of Valley.
Breeds, not breeds.
Seeing this sword, and it gives a big description of this sword.
Like breathe in, breathe out, breeds.
I see.
Where what's
something
his name?
breeds. Yeah, that would be very different.
Them, oh yeah,
I mean, the implication
the creator
there.
of the sword named it Vengeance.
That's a hefty one.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. Then we learn before the end. We end up learning that
it's
Animander, right?
He hasn't read it.
Spoilers.
It's spoilers.
No, he promised to explain the second half of this chapter to you now in great
know
detail.
more about that. Why was it named Vengeance?
Very, very specific details.
What was the purpose of this sword?
Yeah, I need
quotes
that
created.
I couldn't understand some of them.
So anyway,
think
I
in-
think the
and
first
we
thing that
also
happens is a
touched.
bit of a
I mean,
battle
we also I think
on
really get the
Drift
idea just how
Valley.
different
And
maybe
Shannon, that was your
Mm.
Asmender
topic.
and,
Do you want
and
to
Adaris are. The
discuss?
fact that grief and vengeance, two very different things. Um, looking forward to reading. How was it was forged and why was it named that? And cool, awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Well,
Read Carcanis.
one day I'll get around to reading. And then by the end of this section, so then they go into the fight, and then Absalar just shows up out of nowhere with a couple.
Here's what this
Vistani
is.
that she
I
found
mean,
hiding
it's just
hiding
happened.
on the island
Like
somewhere,
because
and
of this chapter that it happens.
and then she
But
sends Cutter
this
out to the
explicitly
Malazans because it turns out a couple
is
Malazans
explored
survived the
in
fight
Forge of
earlier on the
Darkness, the first
boats.
book. So if you're curious about it, definitely read
And
it. It's a really good scene.
there's I don't think we ever get her
That's
name.
all I'll
There's
say.
a
Yes.
captain and the sergeant
What, the
whose name
Forging
starts
of
with a
Grief?
G. It doesn't really matter because they all literally died before the end of
The
the
Forging
section.
of Grief, is that what you're talking about, Carl? Or
But then with him
the
is some guy
handing
named
of
Traveler.
The sword and all of that.
But we don't know anything
how
really about it except he's
the
Dalhunny,
names
and he's
Okay.
and all of that.
apparently a real badass fighter because he kills
Okay.
well
Yes.
him and the rest of the Malazans
Yeah,
kill. I think
you
it
get
said half
all
100,
those
so 50.
answers. All
Okay.
those answers.
Test Eater, and he's the only survivor. I don't know. And then right before that, Cotillion shows up and saves Cutter, and that was a really badass scene with the rope and the flinging around, and like I think we that was a great, I loved that scene. And then that ends with no. I don't think you're supposed to know at this point yet. No. In fact, yeah, I don't think there's any hints whatsoever in anything we read today about who this would be. Just he's really powerful, so he's got to be something.
Yeah. They should have done when they did the fight at the beginning. Why did they wait so long?
Yeah. No, I think it's Traveler. I think it's Traveler. I think he assumed it was the mage that like had half her body burned. But and then maybe she had some power too, but if Absalar's picking up on something, I think it'd probably be this guy because he's pretty
Do you know if we're
great.
I was going to ask you, do you know if we're supposed to know who
And then
Traveler
Cotillion had
is?
told Cutter, said, tell
No.
the guy out there, tell him the names of the swords.
Okay.
And so he ends up, so Traveler ends up coming back, and Cutter tells him the names, and then he picks the name Vengeance.
Okay.
And then he offers to give Cutter the sword, but Cutter's like, no. And then that was another thing too I thought was really cool. So the sword is
Yeah.
invested, but it doesn't
Sorry,
have like
they said that one of them,
it
when
doesn't shoot fire
Absalar,
or
I
anything
think,
weird like
sends
that.
him
It's
out, sends
apparently
Cutter
like
out to
powered by
fetch
the
the
will of
Malazans.
the wielder.
I think she says one of them is a person of
and
power.
Cutter's like,
so
well,
do we still think it was the
yeah,
mage?
like
Cutter
Cutter's
assumes
like,
it is.
no, I don't think the
Or
sword's
do
for
we now
me.
think
I don't
it
think
might be
which I
Pavala?
agree. Like Cutter's
Yeah.
not really strong on the willpower. Proud of the kid for seeing that.
Yeah.
But so this guy takes it, names it Vengeance, and yeah, I just can't help but have the feeling that like, man, he's going to be truly. He was already so powerful just with a normal sword. Now
Yeah,
he's
he
got
thinks
this
he can
sword.
hold the fort along, like,
Fair enough.
without needing help.
I agree. He tries so. So yeah, and then so Andrus died during that. kind of just it's kind of weird because this is like Animander's brother, and he just gets killed off,
Singular will.
nonchalantly. But we saw what that sword could do with somebody with Andrus willpower, which didn't seem to be much. So I'm looking forward to seeing this sword again one day.
Go-
One day. Mhm.
I definitely feel that Apsalar is cold iron and Cutter is
Well, okay, so
hot iron
blind, he was
for
blind, right?
sure.
Shows up and is like
Yeah, he tries to be
cowering,
cold though, but
and then
Oh, he
Cotillion sends him
tries.
away.
He
Does
tries
anybody
so
have any,
hard.
like, what was that about?
Poor boy.
Like, I really didn't understand that. Maybe. I don't. Well, he just showed up and killed a couple guys and then disappeared. He didn't really do
Yeah.
much.
probably the
And
middle child.
I mean, I would argue maybe Andrus wouldn't have been so chatty with him. You know.
One day. I kind of really like that Cotillion showed up for Cutter. Like he sent him to Drifter Valley to see if there are Testeeder and if they should be concerned. And then when it turned out that there was, I thought when he called upon the Hound, Cotillion showed up too. I respect him for that.
Well, they're trying to capture the throne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they claim it,
I thought it was I got this, you can go.
if they
thing?
claim the
I don't know.
throne, then they have the power of shadow.
But why did he need Cutter and
know,
Apsalar there
which is,
then
well-
if he was going to show up anyways?
These guys seem to be assholes, like why give them this much power? I mean, they just, these like the Malazans point out, like they were just out there,
But
they
did
had
he-
nothing to do
well,
with
I
any
just
of
don't
this. They were just
understand
out there on their
what
boats, and the Eaters attacked them
everyone,
for no reason.
all these three factions are trying to
So,
do
like,
here.
this is,
I think that's
that's what
thing
they
I'm
say.
not sure. I know there's the throne there.
That's
But
true. We didn't get the Testeeder.
why do they treat? I know it's explained, but I didn't really get it. Like, what are the Testeeder trying to
he's
do
against
with
what they're
the
doing.
throne? Because I think Cutter says to. Okay,
I
why
would
not let them
assume
take it?
this whole thing is about the Throne of Shadow.
But
I would say that's what motivates
I
all
think,
of
but
them.
we're given, yes, Cotillion and Shadow Throne have a horse in their race, but even this traveler
Yeah.
guy that we don't know anything about is like, okay, this will
So?
be bad if they get the throne. This is bad for the world. I think he was he?
I guess.
Good argument in
mean,
general, I will
I don't know,
say.
maybe.
We should all use that argument. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. Traveler wasn't in the room. Traveler wasn't in the room at the time. Traveler was outside fighting other guys.
That's what they
And
say.
As far as I know, it was just
We haven't gotten the Eater
Darist,
perspective.
Apsalar, Cutter,
I don't know.
and like
Yes,
a
we
couple
have.
Tist Eater.
yeah, we have.
Have we?
They were in the
Yeah, we
wherever it
have.
was, port
Very distinctly, Troll
Uh,
Singar,
yard.
the outcast. He was
yeah,
And then
shorn.
he
Sure.
summoned Blind. Blind started cowering,
So if we
and then all
like
of a sudden
Troll,
Cotillion
then
showed
I
up,
think we
killed a
should
bunch
think
of
that maybe his Eater
and
brethren
then sent
are
Blind away.
kind of dickheads, assholes,
I think
as
that's how
Shannon
that
put
all
it.
went down.
Isn't Blind scared of Traveler? Isn't that what's going on there? It's hard to talk about this without getting into more details, but I also I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm hazy on all this.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Can you explain this, Carl? Because it is kind of like confusing, like the physical and the warrings, and how does that like really work?
Okay. My
Okay.
half informed pitch here is that
Yeah.
Cotillion sent Cutter specifically to get the sword and to essentially clear the way for them to take the Throne of Shadow. And it didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Although at least the Tystedder did not claim it themselves.
You think so? Okay. What's the Throne of Shadow? It's not
this is
the throne that Cotillion is on? I would have assumed
because
that.
That's
the
a
Elder
lesser
Wand
Throne
of
of
Shadow
Shadow.
was shattered
Okay.
because it was damaged somehow.
Yeah.
We know that like there's fragmented pieces of it, and the actual
So
throne
my
of
understanding
it has
of
ended
it is
well,
that
I don't know if it ended up
Shadow
here or
Throne
was put
sits
here
on the
because
Shadow
Drift Valley
Throne
we know
in
is
Miannis.
It's a
Yeah.
floating
So
island.
because of
it's an
that,
island that literally
he
moves.
is the god of
And you've
Miannis.
got a
Yes.
bunch of
Whoever sits on
Tistandi. You've got
this
Animander's
Throne of
brother, and then
Shadow,
a
the
couple of his
original Throne of Shadow,
grandchildren,
Okay.
is the
or
god
maybe
of
more than a
Elder
couple. We don't
Shadow,
really get a good
of
idea.
curled
Yeah.
Emerald.
Okay.
But
And so has the
but
essentially the
his family is
ancestral, the
protected.
elder, the OG power of Shadow, from whence all the other Shadow powers come. And so it is more powerful, more great, and that is why Cotillion, and I think you can safely assume Shadow Throne, are interested in it.
Could be.
Why is it in this
I don't
world
know. I
then,
don't
and
think
not
it's
in a
ever
Warren?
explained, so it could be.
Maybe in one of the fragments. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From the Tistidor. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought of something. Could it be the island is
Yeah.
like another one of, because
they want to capture it.
Andy were in the floating
Because
rock.
they want it
Maybe
back.
could it be something like that? But just this one is in the water. But
like
just put
like
it in
the
the water.
Tistandi have Kurald Ghislaine.
Maybe.
They want their
I definitely
Warren
think
back. Like they have lost it.
Okay.
At this point, they seem
I
to be
think
just
that
here
they
on whatever the planet
definitely
is.
the
Here
Throne
in
of
the
Shadow was
Malazan
put
world.
here.
Okay.
I definitely think that's the case, and it was put here and guarded to be kept away from the Tystedder. Yeah, I mean that's explicitly they explicitly say that's why Animander set the Ondi here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't know what the Trickster is gonna do with it. I guess we just want to kill everyone.
We do. I think you can infer they want to set their leader, who we met in the prologue, on the throne, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think that's like a spoiler. Like that.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why do you
Interesting.
seek out the throne if not
I've
to
never
claim
thought
the
of that
throne?
before.
No, but I'm just like,
That's really interesting.
but what's gonna happen after that?
He will become a god.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Big time.
So this is not spelled out, but I do think it is something you can interpret, which is we have Mother Dark and Father Light.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any elder god of shadow? Not that we know of, right? And so presumably by sitting upon the throne, they would take the power equivalent to
they are to everybody.
Mother Dark and
I
Father
don't think
Light.
they do anything good with it.
Okay.
They would have their own god, which they feel presumably that they're entitled to, considering they are the shadow people.
Yep. Subjugate the humans.
Makes sense to me. But is that bad? Are we gonna just conquer everyone after that? Is that what we're assuming?
They certainly seem like assholes, like Shannon said.
Well, we've met the light ones.
I can't
They're
speak to their past because
they can be all
this
wiped
is
out.
stuff
It's
that I
okay.
think will happen in the third book of Carcanis, which has not been released, and I haven't even read the second. I read the first chapter of the second book, but so this all stuff I'm speculating on. I'll fully admit, but I think we can safely say these guys suck, and so yeah, they probably would want to do like some world conquest or something like that.
Hmm.
Well, the Tisdandis seemed more divorced from the world.
I'd be willing to
they just
bet
kind of want to do their own thing.
they'd want to genocide the
yes, they stepped
Taistandi
in
also,
with the Malazans
for revenge.
with the Empire and stuff. But
I
for the
mean,
most
this
part, they're kind
chapter,
of pretty aloof.
the chapter literally opens up
the
with
Tisteed
what's
we
the
don't know
quote?
enough about yet, but they seem very much in
Light,
the world.
shadow, and dark. This is a war unending,
And
right?
then
Like
the
they're all
Leosin
fighting
are,
each other
yeah,
all the time.
completely out of
So
the world.
But why are the shadow the dark ones better than the shadow ones or the
Propaganda.
light ones? Maybe they're
Probably
all
is.
bad.
We'll
Yeah,
see. I don't think
maybe.
we have enough information yet to really.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, I think they're not inherently
Fair enough.
bad. It's like I think these are factions, and we've been
Yeah.
given more reason to think the Ondi are relatively decent, and the Leosin suck, and the coldest of iron.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just propaganda. That's what I think.
Hell yeah. Dan, who are you supporting in this tripartite war?
I don't know. I don't like the Andy. They're too emo for me. I don't know. I kind of like the Leosin, even though they're assholes. I kind of like an asshole.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say. That this is perfect. Yeah. Let's draw the battle lines.
Because I like the Compass guys in the Second Apocalypse series. They're kind of like a bit like that.
Okay. Okay.
I like the arrogant
I don't know that
guys.
they're like the console. I feel like they're more like the
no, not console. Compass. Like
Compass. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
It never ends up well for the arrogant guys, even though they're fun.
No. That is kind of a trope, isn't it? The hubris leads to your downfall.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to work in real life, though, many times.
No, unfortunately not.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. Caesar got himself killed.
I guess.
You have moments.
Yeah.
I'm with you, though. Sometimes, unfortunately, the supremely arrogant get away with their shit. Maybe that's why it's a trope, is to create
you
catharsis,
want some catharsis,
or
yeah.
to enforce social norms. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like, if you're arrogant in real life, it's going to
Drift Volley, this stuff.
Further than
ready to move on to Kalam.
Heavy humility.
Yeah.
Kalam is next.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of bleak to think so, but I you know what? I agree with you.
Okay. I did like this part, though. Like the part I liked the most,
so
to be honest, was the floating
really
island.
just fall
I
down
just
the well
love
then?
the island moving around, the idea.
Because I was under the impression
just
that
wondering where it came from.
I
don't know.
I
just spent a lot of time I wonder if we're gonna get more history on this island, because it seems really cool.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be true.
It is really cool. Drift Volley.
Maybe they threw him down there.
It's a cool concept. I'm with you. I think that it's probably like it's probably one of the like floating islands just in the sea.
I don't know. No idea.
That would make sense. I like that theory. I support it.
Okay.
That's a well.
Is Clem next? Okay.
Sure.
Yes. He fights another demon. Wins, sort of.
Yeah.
Finds out where Kindly and Pores went, sort of. It seems like I got pulled down by that demon. That's what I thought too. I am really sad that that's not true.
So
That
yeah,
both
so
could be true.
It
Right?
it could maybe
so
they
Palom
pushed.
looks down
Yeah,
there
Yeah.
because they
and
seem
sees some
so
kind of
nonchalant
undead.
about it.
I'm pretty
It
sure it's a Thelamin
kind of feels
Toblokai.
Yeah.
deliberate, right?
It's a giant. We know
I know,
that.
but they couldn't have, because if you're dumping bodies in a well, you're not going to get
Yeah, and
water
then
from
he
it
ends up
afterwards.
he ends up
that
getting
would make no sense
going down there fighting.
if they
Well,
put it there
It's
to
kind of
not
fighting
a
the
drown.
thing, getting away
well
from
though.
it.
It's
But he
apparently a
cuts
hole
it, so its
that's
blood gets in the
leading to a
water. So
subterranean
now
river.
we find out that
But
it
that's
was
where they
being
got
possessed
the
by a
water
demon.
from, right? Did we know it
Which
was
made
a
me
river?
realize so there
Didn't
are
we know
actual
it was
demons
flowing?
like we think of
I think
demons
we
more,
did, at
like
least
Oh,
when
okay.
less
we got
physical and more
Kalam's
possessing
perspective. The
people
first paragraph was about a
in this
subterranean
world.
river,
Okay.
and
And
like
then yeah, so like the
and
mage or whatever
they
said,
told
oh,
us also
whenever
that
drinks
the
of this
well
water will
sort
make
of
a
led to a
deal with
river,
it, and it
and
could
they flowed
leave. It could take
down
its
away.
body,
Like that's how
Mhm.
they lost them. They're
which is
not just
which
like dead
later
in
on
the
is
well.
exactly what happens. It takes
Yeah.
over in Carl.
Okay, fair enough.
So now that
They
the
could-
demons
yeah.
release some blood, they want them
in
to not
Carl.
drink the water, which in retrospect was a losing battle because some random
Ah,
thing. Yeah. Mhm.
could have been in Carl. And then the Encarl's brain gets put in the
Yes, that's
Toblakai's
a
body,
band.
Yes.
Yeah.
which is really weird. And then the beast gods show up at the end and we're like, hey, you'll be our champion. So I guess we have a big monster that's now in a humanoid body that's out there waiting to show up again.
Mhm.
And then didn't disappear. I think they just call like because the Encarl, shows up in its body and it's really confused because it doesn't have wings and all, and it's tied down and it's like, what's going on? And it's flipping out, and then the
Mhm.
wolf gods show up and calm it, as I think what it actually says, and then declare it their champion. We don't see it freed yet. But I think,
In
I mean,
what?
that's the implication.
Carl.
If
Oh,
only
Yeah,
I
that
but
could
read
have been
chapter
your name.
12. I know. I can't
So
believe missed
in
opportunity. Ah,
in the dragon deck, is there like a war, house of war? 'Cause that made me think about that. Because, like, yeah, clearly that's who he would be the champion of House of War or whatever, High House of War. But yeah, here in the
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
And
don't
glossary, there's
know.
what
no
happened
mention
to
of
the
a High House
Telemann
of War. So
Toblakai though? Did it disappear?
I'm now confused by that a little bit. Yeah, there's life, death, light and dark, shadow and chains. That's it for the houses.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just not in this glossary then.
Is that one? Okay.
Yes. The wolves of like the beast hold, right? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
Yeah, I think so. Sure.
Okay. Well, there was also during the middle of this, there was like kind of a lore dump exposition of the what is it, the cult of the nameless one. They
Right.
start talking about that, which made me think maybe that has something to do
No,
more
there's
with
also
because
High
they
House
connect.
War
Apparently, the
in
Tano
the
spirit
wiki.
walkers
In the wiki.
are claiming
So.
direct descent from these.
I
We
guess
know
maybe
the
it's
Tano
not
spirit
important
walkers
because-
kind of tie into bridge burners and their
just like
ascension.
the Google AI. We just
that's right.
Yeah.
the best.
So
I don't
Get
know.
his-
So I didn't really get it
Anyway,
all. 'Cause
For
I
me,
don't
this
remember
chapter
enough
was
to
a bit.
remember, but
I was a big
made me
sort
wonder if
of
that was maybe something that could
confused,
come
not
back
super
up one day.
confused. It
is
was
this
more
whole
like,
cult of
okay,
the
this
nameless
happens and
ones
this happens and
stuff.
this happens, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where this is going. It's just more like just these things happen and they're not.
Yeah.
They don't seem super connected,
They put
and they don't
Mappo
seem
to
like
watch
there's a storyline going through apart from Kalam being there for some of them.
Oh,
I don't know. Or was it supposed to make more connections with other things that I didn't catch?
Okay.
Mm.
Is that right? Oh, that's cool. That makes sense with the circles. Oh, wow.
Mm.
Well, what we know about them,
Yeah.
right, is they relate to Ikariam in some ways. They set Mappo up as his companion, and Ikariam has some relation to all these wheels. So that's where the circle comes from for the Mappo, or not the Mappo, the Tano Spirit Walkers.
Mm.
That's all I got though.
Okay.
Ka is a wheel. Sorry, I'm reading The Dark Tower right now.
So
What?
Oh, great book. Series of books.
Wait, how far are you in?
Well, I'm rereading
so Dan,
the
so
Gunslinger
Kalan
to
kills the
like
demon, gets pretty jacked up,
just like
and then
power through
somebody,
the
it
rest of the
sounds like
series.
maybe
I'd
you
gotten up
enjoy
to book
shows
4
up.
on my first read, and for some reason just never read beyond it. I
Oh,
loved all the
really?
books. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why. I cannot explain it. But
Enter the
it
pus.
was one of those things where once I like hadn't returned to it in a while and I'd forgotten a
Mm.
bunch, it just got so
Yeah.
intimidating
Yeah.
that I never finished it.
Is
I'm
book 4 the
successfully hiding
train?
from her.
Or which one is book
No, I
4?
think
Book 4
that's
is the big
3.
flashback
Right.
one. Well, it is
Ah,
a little bit the train. That's the frame story, right?
Mm, yeah.
that's the
5 is
best one
Song of
though.
Susanna.
The
Yeah, 4 is the best. Wait, the train is the
yeah.
best one?
No,
I
the flashback is the best
Yes,
one.
that's my favorite too. I know
It's
it
the one
pissed off a
that
lot of people
mm,
who were reading as they were coming out because they waited for a really long time to find out what happens next,
mhm,
and they got a flashback instead.
mm.
But I
But it's
loved
great.
it. Yeah.
There's also a very good comic book about that book, like the flashback part, which
Oh,
is
okay.
Oh.
I really enjoy.
I gotta check it out.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Is
Is
is Carl
Karan
Past
past?
is back.
Enter past.
Hell yeah, he's back.
Seems
Yeah.
he's now married to Mogora.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Yeah, between books, Dan.
In between, yeah, I guess. But I
They,
don't think they're officially married, are they?
I mean, he does call her his wife. This is, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
Shadow Throne conducted the ceremony.
Are there marriages
I,
for
I,
ceremonies? We've never seen that, have we?
That's true, we haven't.
Maybe
I
you
I,
mean,
can
wa-
just say
yeah,
I
you're
want
married.
that
yeah,
as a
just
short
decide
story.
that. Mm.
How did that happen? I want it.
Shadow
Erickson,
Throne marrying those two. Like, we did see them,
Cotillion.
truly, madly, deeply in love at the
Yeah.
end of Dead House Gates, right?
Yes, yes.
So, so it
Well, he
tracks
summoned one of
that
the
they are now
demons with it,
married,
didn't
but are
he? Yeah.
out to kill each other, nevertheless.
Yes.
Um,
true love.
Yeah. I love the parts where, he's just Scarpass disappearing and appearing the shadow and then I don't know, all his
I
little
forgot he
tricks.
did that.
yes.
Very
I didn't
fun.
realize it.
Yeah, and Mogora's like, I'm not going to wear because then he'll find a way to kill me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is just historical.
I'm obsessed with
Um,
them.
yeah,
But you didn't
love
know
that couple.
that.
One of my favorite couples.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get more chapter. I think I remember there's more with them.
Yes.
So then
For sure.
Onrak is
Yeah.
next.
Okay. On to, is Pearl next? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
sorry. Because he was saying that he had to deliver stuff to him, right, from Shadowthrone, which was some sort of diamonds. I forgot.
That
Where
again?
did he get those?
I think Cotillion gave them to him when he sent him out on his quest.
But we don't know what they are, do we?
He used
Or
one
do
of them
we?
to release that demon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay. So they're just a bunch of demons then.
Maybe. And he used half of them to pay for his knife, the Wiccan sword thing that he bought
Ah,
off of someone. Yeah. And
cool.
then, so
Missed
if he
that.
was supposed to deliver these to Skaral Past, what the hell was he doing spending it?
Hmm.
uh, yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think that's everything with Kalam.
Fair
Anything else?
enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Onrak and Trull.
And in this
They
part, we get a confirmation that it is the Hounds of Shadow merging with some other entity in the Shadow, because they say it, right? But it literally says like, oh, it's two
Mhm.
things entwined, because they
Mm.
talk about the Hounds release, and it's like, I mean, it's pretty obvious, unless if they're not directly spelling it out, but it's pretty close to that
So
in
Tral
my
thinks
mind.
that it's Hounds of Darkness, but Onrak thinks that it's actually Hounds of Shadow.
No, they say it's like the things were
Theorlin.
released were two like souls entwined. Like it says like two aspects of the same thing or something closely related entwined
Oh.
together.
Mm. So they were Hounds of Darkness in the Hounds of Shadow, though, right? Or was it the
I
other way?
think I
Well,
think it's like a
the
union of the
Eye
Hound of
Master of
Shadow and Hound
Fire,
of
which
Darkness,
is
which were inside the
Yeah.
an offshoot of Light. So they're from like
statues, which were not actually
yeah,
statues.
they're part of the same
He says
lore and
something
just
about them, the
one
statues
separate
not being. What did
IP.
he say?
That's
Not
what I
like
got
a
out of it.
prison or something, but I didn't get what that meant.
Hmm.
He says that they're
Yeah.
not trapped there, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still a little muddled on which is which. And we talked last time about Rashan, Mianus, and Tyr, and supposedly there are three different things, but then Rashan is also like shadow, maybe, but I think it's darkness.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
but you know, like the Imas apparently could channel from the warden of the Tisliosan because it's close enough. Maybe yeah, Kural Tirlin. Maybe shadow priests can channel from darkness and vice versa because they are close enough.
Maybe they're fire.
Yes.
Hmm.
And yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
Say it again?
I'm still very confused about all of that, but I don't I don't think I have enough to understand it. But anyway, so they do a blood ceremony
No.
in which
What did
Tral
Dan just ask?
cuts himself with a flint knife that goes
Mhm.
deeper than he expects, I guess. And that helps them leave the world
I
that
didn't.
they
Yeah,
are
I didn't.
in
I didn't
and
pick up
come
on
back
a
to
reason.
the home realm. But the other
Except the Eye
Imas
Master
that they
just
are
kind of
with
also assholes and go kill people.
have disappeared. Turns out they went into the warren of the Leosan, Kural Tierlin,
I had the same
to
thought.
find
Like,
and
why
kill
are
their
they?
false
Why are
god,
they going after
who,
this guy?
like, the existence of the
Like,
false
'cause
god was revealed to them
it seems a real.
because Jorand, is that his name, says our god demands blood too. And he thinks he's speaking of Osiric, but the Tilanimas think they know better, and so they go and kill that. They
Why
want to
did
kill that.
they want to do that? I didn't get that.
I think they figured out that he's an interloper, but we don't know why. Sorry, what was your which part, Shannon? The false god?
Why did they want to kill the false god? It's like, okay, sure, your god is false. Let me do what he was. Why do they care? Was it a Jagut or something? Okay.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The
they
only reason I could think was that the god was somehow related to the Jagut. That's the only thing I could think of, but
Yeah.
yeah.
that, or does it have something to do with the Imas that they are chasing? Didn't they say something about those guys also having sworn allegiance to
Yeah.
a different
Which I
entity?
want to point
And
out.
maybe they
Last week
think
I
these two
said
entities are the same.
Onrak is full of shit.
Wait, they're chasing the
And
mass?
I want to back that up this week.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
chasing
him, but
renegade
he's,
Imas.
for all that talk of like,
Who-
The Seven.
oh, I've
The
broken my
seven. Oh,
oath.
really?
I
Yeah,
need to
I
die
guess
now. I'm ready to
have they
die.
confirmed
Is
that
He
it-
so
clearly
far?
is
I
because
think
first chance he
that
may
gets,
be
he swears an oath to
speculation,
troll,
but I
and he's
thought,
like, "Oh, now I got to
isn't
read
it the
more."
Seven? I think
I thought
we
so
can
too,
speculate
but
it's the Seven.
I
Oh, okay.
think so, but yeah.
But these
No, it's
specific
Swords on
guys are
Survival,
going to
despite
hunt
the
the mass.
fact that
I
he
thought it was
keeps
like they were
talking
talking in
about
general
like
in
how
mass.
detached he is.
But
Like, you're not
these
detached,
specific
dude.
group
Yeah,
of
like
mass look like,
Onrex,
okay.
that Bonecaster, another group. They're hunting Imas,
Okay.
but and I think the reason for that is because they swore allegiance to a different
Yeah.
power,
The crippled god.
which Tral
Yeah.
also
Is it?
has
And
done
I did like the troll gave
during
him the idea because he told him about the
this
about
transfer.
the
He
seven that they
vows
were hunting and
allegiance
like, oh,
to,
maybe they've
sorry,
sworn to
not Jal,
somebody else.
Onrak has vowed
And
allegiance
that's
to
clearly
Chal.
where he got the idea from. Mhm.
Yeah.
That might be it. I don't
That
know.
was for survival, right? It wasn't just to protect Chal. Or if it was even motivated.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm
I
so
think it
did that.
says though that him being severed from the rituals, it seems to somehow give them more personality and more will to live, like a different perspective. It seems because even the other ones we've seen, like when they
Yeah.
detach, they behave differently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My thought was like the Tlaimast don't like it. Like they have all these rituals. Oh, when you're severed from the ritual, then you have to be destroyed and stuff like that, just because they don't like other Tlaimast thinking for themselves. And they would
Yeah.
figure out that they're kind of being assholes and, maybe behave nicer. That's my thought.
I think it's the other way around. Maybe they want to stop being assholes now, and the other must don't like
Maybe.
that anymore. Because, like, Onrak has this moment of, I'm looking at them from the
Disqualified.
outside now. I see them as they and I, until I was severed, appear to others who are not Telanamas.
Yeah.
For, like, I guess the futility of their purpose, or like
Yeah.
how a purpose that started out as noble has now been twisted due to its like mindlessness over all these
Yes,
millennia,
they think it's Osric.
thousands of millennia.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was saying. Like they don't want, other Tlaimast maybe to convince them to see from the outside perspective and see that
No, we
they're
have no
being
idea.
like fake or whatever.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
worth
Okay,
it.
yeah. I think I
Right.
misunderstood what you said. Yes. So anyway, Onrak has that moment of realization, which
Mhm.
may have had something to do with his last minute decision to vow allegiance to Tralsinga. So
Wait,
it
I want to circle back very very briefly to all of it. So I didn't read chapter 12, so this is extra. Like, what the hell
disqualified.
are you talking about
Nope.
from me? Yeah, mute me. So the Talani Mass, who are chasing the Seven, go into Curled Thirlon to kill an imposter god who
Who demands blood.
the Leosin think is Osric.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's fake Osric is either the crippled god or an agent of the crippled god, or at the very least,
I
that's what
think
the Talani Mass think. That's what you were saying, Varsha. Because I guess we don't find out for certain.
Yeah, I don't
Don't
think the
we?
cripple god is mentioned quite. So my guess though is cripple god. Especially
I
since the
thought
book is called House of Change. So we probably are seeing insidious ways that the cripple god is taking control. Maybe.
That's really cool. Because I don't remember this at all from the series, so that's a neat little bit there. Because if they're motivated by the Seven that they're chasing, it would have to be related to the cripple's god, right? And that would explain maybe why the Leosin are such extreme assholes,
Yeah,
at least in part.
in part.
Yes.
And there is a moment which, when I think Onrak mentions that they swore allegiance, like somebody, like basically that there's some sort of imposter god somewhere.
Yeah.
Chal has a moment of like going
And
completely
only that one is
white-faced,
the survived.
which I think is
Right.
significant and
Mm.
interesting.
Hmm.
And that's all I'll say about
So what
that.
what had you so confused, Dan? I'm assuming it was this
Anything
section.
else about this section? I think just before I guess Pearl and Lostara, we can segue into
They're
that.
in the Imperial One.
they end up. We'll talk about the Otataral dragon in just a sec, but in their quest to find their way out of the Imperial Warren, they end up somehow inside Kural Tirlan, and they find
They're looking
these
for
Emas
Felison.
who
I don't
went
think we
to
know their
murder the false
destination
god. Seems
yet,
they have succeeded,
but they're
maybe. But now the guy is left with just a head. Who
they're using it to travel.
Pearl helps by placing it somewhere with a good view. So we see, I think, the conclusion of that. We don't see how it played out or who the false god is that they killed, but they think they've succeeded in any case. And
A lot of false gods going around.
Yes. So
Well, what happens? So they go in the deserts. Okay, wait. So okay, let me remember. Where do they start? They start in the Imperial Warren. Because they're going. Where are they going? They're going. I can't remember.
looking for Felison.
Yes. Okay, because we don't know why they went into the Imperial Warren then to search for Felison.
So
Yes.
I think that I might be misremembering this, but I think it had something to do with what Gessler and Stormy told them about where they had started and where they ended up.
Okay.
And that there was a section in the Imperial Warren that could cover that distance. And so they think that they can find Felison somewhere along there. I think that's why they are there, if I remember correctly from the previous section.
Okay. Because there's like fixed exits and entrances right to the Imperial Warren, aren't there? So like they must know where they want to exit, unless there are like so many exits that you can just go inside and then figure it out. Like maybe I'm at this distance and I should come out, but there must be fixed exits because they know there was like an exit in the like Lassine's Imperial Palace, right?
Yeah.
For example.
I mean, I think we did see Kalam use it to just generally travel in, was it Dead House
But
Gates?
I thought he knew where he was getting. Like he knew it was like,
That's
okay,
true.
I need to get out there, so I know there's an exit there and entrance here, so I can go there. But maybe there are a lot of them, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so we're just using it to like fast travel.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. Either to fast travel or because they are searching along it to see where Felison might have ended up, or both.
It literally is fast travel. I mean, that's how it's introduced in Gardens of the Moon.
Yeah.
What's his name? The wizard who has the T name. He appeared in this book. Shit. He told about the bridge burners, didn't he? He was covered in
Kaiser?
ash.
Topper.
Topper. Yes, Topper. Thank
Topper.
you. Yeah, he takes Ganos at the very beginning of Gardens of the Moon, just like fast travels him to the Imperial throne room using the Imperial Warren.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they're walking through, and then they're like, we're discussing the fact that there used to be, there used to be something here, right? That made all the ash, and then what happens? They go off the path. I didn't get that part. Why?
Yeah, we've seen buildings there. We've
what they
seen
were trying
like
to do
old
there.
temples.
So
There was an
my
exit.
understanding is that they went to the Imperial Warren, but they have found it in a worse state than they expected. Like there's some danger lurking, so they want to get out of it. And so they are trying to find an exit, and Pearl
But
has
before
found
that,
some
they
sort
stumbled
of
across
exit to
a
another warren
crucified
from there,
dragon
and they go looking
that
for it
seems
in
to
a
be
pit. And
Otataral,
Lostara loses her
which
balance,
doesn't
and like
make
all
any
those
sense.
shenanigans happen. But
because
eventually, they
that's
find their way
anti-magic. How
out
can
of
it
that
be
warren.
magic?
But they end
Okay.
up in the Kural Tirlan.
And then
Warren.
there's some
I
kind of
forget how they
shield around
come
it
out of
that's
there,
its own
though.
pocket warren.
I was somehow under the impression that there's
And
like the road in the.
did it
Is
have
there a
something to
road
do
in
with the
the
Queen of
Imperial
Dreams, or
Warren
did he
or
just
no?
like
I think there
person
was,
use
yeah.
the
I thought
Covered in
there's
ash.
like a
Okay.
road, and then
That
you
might
need to
have
stay
been
on the
it.
road because even before they said, "Oh, there's weird beings
Yeah,
in the
I think you
Imperial
might
Warren,"
just,
just stay straight on your path and get out
a
as
gate
soon
Queen
as
of
you're
Dreams.
done.
I think you're right. Yeah,
'cause
that
it
was
might be
right. He was
dangerous.
just using our name. blasphemy.
Wait, are you telling me that Pearl and Lestara killed the false god who is working maybe
No,
for
no,
the
no, no,
crippled?
no, no.
But
Okay.
there
They
is
found
a
it
giant
Animas who
crucified
did
Ototaro
and
dragon in
Yeah.
the
put
Imperial
him
War.
to final rest.
Okay. Well, but even
Oh.
before, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the coolest
Fire,
scenes.
because that's where
Yeah.
the light. It's
Aspect
light,
it.
right? Because that's why
Yeah.
the mice came out, because that's where
And
they
it's
went.
stuck in its own pocket warren or something, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't go all the way in, did
What's
they?
that
I thought they
about?
just opened the door because they found a gate. Yeah, because no, they found a gate, and oh yeah, that's right, they found a gate, and it was
think
like,
they
oh, here's
cursed
the
with that,
tracks,
I
and they
thought.
said it was dragon tracks.
Yeah.
And so then they decided it was the dragons that must have crucified this other dragon.
Okay. So we just
Based on
randomly stumble
that.
upon this and we're like,
And then when
okay, let's get out.
when they open that
Yeah.
portal,
Yes,
is
you're not
when
supposed to
they
know what's going on there.
they
Okay.
get the Talani mass out.
Hmm.
But then they go and place. Do they go to the real world when they place his head on
So
the
fucking cool.
And then they go into
somewhere?
the warren of fire? Light? Fire? Fire?
Well-
Yeah. It must be light. But wasn't
Yeah.
there a firestorm in there?
Yes.
They said?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
And then there's like a big rock or something? Oh.
Which I did want to point out, Pearl seems to know a hell of a lot here. Like, because he mentions knowing about the Tisliosin, even though he didn't know the name off the top of his head. He was like, oh yeah, there's the Tis Andy, the Defeater, and then
Yeah?
those other ones. I'm like, nobody knew about these guys. Like, why do you know so
Mhm.
much? Yeah, he really does.
Do they? But I thought wasn't there some sort of
Is it shielded or is it just being
big rock with writing on it or something like
contained?
that?
I don't know.
What did I read? What did I read?
Oh yes, yes. There was some writing. It contained the names of everybody who had done the chaining of the Ototaro dragon that Pearl
Okay.
was trying to read. Yes.
Okay. I see.
But I don't think we got any information out
Yeah.
of it. Just Pearl. Pearl got in. Yeah.
Well, one day it might be, Dan. One day it might be.
True. He knew, yeah. He knew about that it was an
Mhm.
Ototral dragon in a pocket warren, and he knows a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
figured out that the dragon is Ototaro. Probably because it started to suck up his magic or something. I don't know.
But I thought it was shielded by the fact being in its own warren, he says.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay. I don't know. I just, yeah. I think I started to remember why I don't remember these parts of the book as much, because there's not like a super strong like narrative thread that I'm following. And there's a lot of lore and a lot of things happening one after the other,
Yeah.
which are not necessarily super connected immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It-
right now, without knowing the next books, it's just like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened. I was like, okay, I guess.
A lot of the lore did go over my head the first time I read the book, and like I didn't even remember that there was any mention of an Ototaro dragon this early on in the series. So
How did you oh, this is one of the most memorable scenes for me, when they just completely stumble across randomly this crucified
interesting.
Ototaro dragon. It's like, this was one of the moments where I was like, holy shit, what? This series is insane. And I remembered it. Well, that's all I'll say.
I didn't remember that this existed at all. The thing that's going on with Kalam, absolutely no remembrance of it. I think the main thing I remember is like where Pearl and Lostara end up. And
Yeah.
most of the stuff with Tavor's army, I think. On Dragon
Yeah.
Chal, again, I know where they end up. I don't know. I don't remember how they get there. So
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like this book has a bit less of like the previous book was like a big storyline, a thread that anchored it. And I'm like, okay, I'm following this thread mostly. This one, like the first part, which
Yeah.
was the Karsa part, I remembered it. That one, as soon as I started reading, I was like, I remember all of this. It's great. But after that, it's like there's not like a major
You sound a
thread.
little
Like, oh
echoey
yeah, there's
now.
the rebellion part. But it's kind of fragmented between a lot of different perspectives, I feel, as opposed to the other books, which feel like they have less. Maybe they have the same number, but they kind of feel like they're more focused in a sense. You know what I mean?
I do think that there's a lot of setup that happens in this book for things that come back later.
A
A lot of
run away.
WTF moments that are like, I don't know what's happening. I mean, this is really the book where the Book of the Fallen kind of embraces all of itself and its weirdness and philosophizing and crazy lore.
So Varsha, I cannot stand how she. Oh, hey Varsha.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The mic button disappeared from my
You're a delight.
browser, so I can't mute myself anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
You will be heard.
Yes.
But you have all the other buttons? You can turn
really?
off your camera?
Wait, did I turn off my camera? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back. I'm gonna leave and come back because I need to be able to mute myself.
Wait, as the leader, can you do that?
Yeah. It keeps it going. I have to come back and stop recording. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
So now that Varsha's gone, we riot, we party hard.
Yeah.
Things
we
get
gossip
completely out of
about
control.
Varsha. We talk behind her back. Who are we gonna elect after her? Oh no, she's back.
Oh shit.
That's it. So bossy.
Why, Shannon? What is it that you can't stand? The fact that it took so long to say that sentence.
We respect the adjunct's authority, and that's the most important thing.
Okay, as long as you remember that. So, who else really enjoyed the argument between Lostara and Pearl when she says, do you have to speculate everything? Do you have to have an answer for everything? And Pearl says, it's creative conjecture. And then she says, well, don't. And then he stops, and now she's like, okay, is that all you have to say? Don't you have a better answer for me then? Oh, that was
I think
brilliant.
it says like, oh, maybe now it's time for creative conjecture at the end, right?
Yes. I love that.
I think that's my favorite part of these two chapters. Their like banter is very fun.
It is a lot of fun. I agree.
Yeah.
Cosign.
They also feel like another sort of old married couple bickering a bit.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if it's quite this part he was referring to, but Erikson said that a lot of these conversations are modeled after conversations he and his wife had, Pearl and Lostara's exchanges. So.
But they're not Iskaral Past and what's her name? Magora. Is not bad. He and his wife.
Well, they never in the same room together. So. What else? I think we've covered it. We've touched upon all the threads.
I highlighted
We
was
have
from
hashed
chapter
it all
11,
out.
and it was
Are we
this
ready
is
to do
Gamut
quotes?
thinking
Although I
about
don't have my
Tavor
book
when
with me, so
Topper's talking to
I
him.
had a few written
And
down,
he said,
but I
we
won't
thought,
be able to
tell Tavor
read them
that
out.
the Empress had no confidence in her, and then follow that up with the
I'll read
brutal assertion
I
that
did
she
read
was
as
now
far
the
as
Empire's
the
last
opening
hope
epigraphs
for
of
7 cities.
chapter 12
Well,
/
few are
part
the men
3.
or women who could
I think the
who
very
would not be
opening part
rocked
3 one
to their knees
is
by
really
that.
interesting that I did not remember at all, and kind of
I think
touches on
we're supposed
what
to
we
get
were
the idea
talking
that
about and
Tavor
have
is truly
speculated for
strong to be
both
told.
last
Oh
week
yeah,
and
by
this
the
week.
way,
about Rashan.
You were just
Mm.
here.
The art of Rashan
Empress
is
had no
found in the
faith in you,
tension
but
that binds
but
the
now it's all
games
down
of
to you.
light, yet its aspect is one of dissipation, the creation of shadow and of dark. Although in this case, the dark is not absolute, such as is the aspect of the ancient worn curled Ghislaine. No, this dark is particular, for it exists not through an absence of light, but by virtue of being seen.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's from the Mysteries of Rashan, a madman's discourse.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Any others before we wrap up? Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week with, I think, the next 2 chapters. I think we're doing two chapters for a while now. 3? Okay. The next 3 chapters. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. For next week, if you're listening along and reading along with us, please check out the Page Chewing Forum. We do have a few discussion threads there where we talk about the chapters that we're reading each week. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye.